There's Kathleen Turner, also started as an agent for Enterprise Rental Car. She's our treasurer. Let's go to the next slide. So this is the person that runs it, and this is that one of the three is our staff. Carolyn Bettetta started as our marketing person 20 years ago. She worked for John Pomeroy, who came up with the idea. By the way, John didn't get the top job because he pushed change, and that's a hard thing. A lot of people in government said, hey, you're taking this money and going private. This is our money. People in government don't like you to do this for yourself. They're going to be threatened about it. John ended up not getting the job because people in government were threatened with what we did. They were worried about us going private and taking it wasn't their money, it was our money. But they kind of think all the money's their money, I think, which is, I don't believe that. So anyway, but Carolyn was the marketing person that put together the program that we voted on. And by the way, we all vote on this. The first time we all voted on the CTTC program, which was Carolyn's program, I think 61% said yes. The second time it was 84%, because it's every 5 years. Last time, 91% of those assessed businesses that are paying money into this program voted yes, 91%. So it is an incredible program, and this person put it together. And she's also, go back 1 second, she's also the vice chair of the California Tourism Promotion, of the Corporation for Tourism Promotion in Washington, D.C. She really knows how to do this, and so she now is one of the 11 board members that are doing it. And thank God she's not going to work for them, because we gave her a new five-year contract, keep her in California. So anyway, she'll help them anyway, and she knows what she's doing. So this kind of shows you the funding back to, we didn't go back to the very beginning, but the first industry funding, that's when we agreed to self-assess, and the government was putting in $7 million, and then we put in $6 million. It's 5,000 businesses agreed to be self-assessed. It was $450 per million. And I'm not going to get into a lot of detail because you'll fall asleep. But anyway, 9/11, the government put in some more money, and now we have a program going. We're funded, and we have the three things. And then the government, then the actual governor changed. Gray Davis came in. He really didn't spend a lot of time thinking about tourism because he needed to worry about it. But then he got reelected and then told us he had a $30 billion budget problem. And he didn't tell us that when he was running for the second time. But then he got recalled. And so he not only eliminated the Office of Tourism, this is the second time it happened, he got rid of the Department of Commerce, which we were part of. So the entire Department of Commerce got eliminated. The entire Office of Tourism got eliminated. But you know what? We had the commission. So that half funding that they were paying, that went away. But Carolyn just stepped off, and we lost all our state employees. Okay, a bunch of them came over to the commission side. We still had our $6 million. And then Arnold Schwarzenegger became governor. Who could have predicted that? You know. So I'll tell you, a lot of this is luck. I mean, you know, we didn't think this out. I mean, Tom asked me earlier today, you know, if you did something different, you know, we couldn't have thought this up. You know, a lot of it is just moving forward and doing something, taking control of this on yourself, working together and getting along and figuring out what you want to do is you want to grow the pie. You want to do for the industry what it can't do for itself. And but then to get Arnold Schwarzenegger, boy, was that an amazing thing. I mean, he had some struggles being governor, but boy, was he a promoter. I mean, how many have seen the spots with him in that? You know, normally we wouldn't put the governor in the spot, but internationally, he was amazing. I mean, we went to 7 or 8 countries. In Japan, there was way more media than there were delegates. I mean, he was just, he's a superstar. He's not a governor. He's a superstar. He's the first guy ever to promote movies internationally. He wanted to be the highest grossing actor in Hollywood. And the way he did that is he promoted his movies in Japan and Germany. So it was just California the movie. And he would go to these countries, and he was on the front page in all the talk shows for 4 days. We did China, we did Toronto, we did Vancouver, we did Germany. Anyway, he was great for tourism. And it was not just tourism, it was great for agriculture and everything else. He had some other problems, but we don't worry about that now. So then, however, so go back. So we did this thing with the passenger rental cars, which we ended up getting a bill. Arnold helped us with this. They needed to be able to pass through. They're assessed business, but they needed to be able to pass through the fees. And so they couldn't get this bill passed. We were only one of 2 states that had it, that didn't let them do this. And so we were able to make a deal that if they would put a CTT assessment in the Carbonell's thing, we would get this bill passed for them. So we did, and that ended up with $50 million. That's how we got have $50 million now. And now all we're thinking about is how to spend the money. We're not going up to the legislators and begging for money. You know, you guys, if you want your Office of Tourism, you've got to go talk to your legislators. Do you like doing that? Do you like going up there and sitting and complete? Anyway, we're not doing that. Now we're just doing marketing stuff. We're marketing the state of California. So let's go through what it is. So here's where all the money comes from. Obviously, the passenger cars did the biggest part of it. We couldn't have dreamed that up, but that's the truth. Attractions, accommodations. When you stay in a hotel or you rent a car, it says CTT assessment on the bill. It's a small amount of money. Initially it was $450 per million, then it went to $650 per million, which we all agreed on, we all voted on. Everything's transparent, all the meetings are transparent, anybody can go to them. All these materials I have are free. I'd love to keep them from you because we're competitive. I can't, we're a public entity. So you can actually come and attend our meetings if you want. But it's all there. You can see what we did, our bylaws, the whole thing's all a public document. So anyway, when you have this kind of money, so let's keep going. So here's the deal, is there's some guiding principles we adopted, and you could use some of them. But the idea is to do something for the industry that it can't do for itself, which is grow the pie. So these are the marketing strategies we use, which I'm going to go through these quickly because you know that you're going to do this. You probably do these now. And by the way, I've heard, Marcia, your Office of Tourism did a great job for you. And I think I've only heard great things about them. So you guys, good for you, and I hope you can figure this out. So here's the guiding principles. And we all discuss this. When I say we all, when we have a commission meeting now, we'll have 150 people there. And then there's all these committees. Most of the commissioners are CEOs. And the CEOs, we have only 3 meetings a year because you want the staff to work in between. 4 makes it too much the staff. And then there's a bunch of committees, all kinds of committees, which are expert marketing people. The very best marketing people in the state of California are involved in this. And we fight about it, we argue about it, but it's all to make it better. And it really works great. So the committees meet between, and then the commissioners, so do for the industry what it cannot do for itself. That should be one of your guiding principles. Leverage cooperative programs and focus on international and new market development. We now are a reliable partner. People can work with us, and they do, outside the state. By the way, all the money is spent out of the state of California. We only 15% could be spent in the state because it's not our job to move people from LA to San Francisco. That's not doing for the industry. LA's got to be responsible to get people down there from San Francisco or vice versa. What we want to do is bring more people into our state. And so that's what that falls into the category. If you do the in-state marketing, you'll start fighting over it, and it'll get ugly. And so I would avoid that. It still comes up because people talk in California, say, well, 80% of our business comes from California. And 2 years ago, when it really was bad, maybe we ought to market more in California. We made it against the law, so we don't have to do that anymore. But it keeps coming up, as far as that goes. So anyway, you might want to avoid that. We evaluate the programs, return on investment, and we measure the programs. People think you can't do that? We absolutely do that. You have to justify why people put money in. The industry is going to assess itself. People are paying for something they used to get for free. They have to know it works. And there are metrics that we do qualitative and quantitative research in market in countries, and we can prove it works. So these people, well, I don't know if it's going to work. You don't have to worry about that. We focus on out-of-state and international audiences. The other thing is we got to support the assessed businesses. We have about 5,500 assessed businesses now. There are hundreds of other businesses that don't qualify. You have to make $1 million from tourism to even qualify to be in it, to be assessed. Established technology platform for all programs. Everything's internet. It's not a matter about buying TV and radio and newspaper and that kind of stuff. There's so much more to it. And then the other thing is we have all these bids, TIDs, we want to work with these CVBs because they now all have money, and they need a way to participate on the grand world stage. They need to be able to use the CTTC to get to wherever markets they want to do. And so we have a whole program to help with them. We do not give them any money, however. We just help them participate, like ITB, World Travel Market. We have a platform them to do that. But obviously, bringing more people into the state and then moving them to every part of the state is what we try to do.